Here I have 5 useless expenses on which you're probably losing money every year. When I started my saving journey, I was also wasting a lot of money. And even though I still waste some, these 5 things helped me to save more than $60,000 over the last 4 years. But for you, it could be even more. Because imagine that in average, a person wastes $18,000 per year. So if you want to stop wasting money, I will show you how to reduce these 5 expenses and how to still have what you want. So this is the first one, and it saved me more than $30,000 over the last years. And it is something that you should already know, but the impact is so important that I have to talk about it. And so what I'm talking about is a Lego Porsche. No, I'm kidding. I'm clearly not talking about a Lego Porsche. This is too fun to be useless. But I'm talking about cars, and this is the biggest car I could bring in my apartment. Why am I talking about cars? I really love cars. I mean, the posters here behind me are about cars. I have a Lego car. So I'm not saying that cars are useless. Because, I mean, personally, I've always wanted a car. I've always dreamed about the first car I would buy once I got my first job. And clearly, in my dream, it would have been a Porsche. But being realistically, my dream car was the Audi A3. And so once I started working and so earning my first money, I went on the Audi website, on the configurator, and clearly configuring it, because who doesn't want some of the options? Nobody wants it really basic. And so once I arrived at the end of the configuration, the cost was of more than $50,000. And this was too much money. I mean, I could have leased it, yes, but the thought of spending all of this money was really destroying me, so I didn't buy it. And that's why I started looking for something else, but it didn't actually work, it didn't click. I still wanted this one, I still wanted the Audi A3. I mean, I couldn't resist, it was kind of a small dream since I was a teenager. And so, a little hopeless, I started looking for used cars to find something that would make me happy. And this actually opened a whole world to me, because the offer was just enormous, and the cars looked pretty new. And so I started searching properly for the car I wanted. I really wanted the one I configured on the Audi website. And actually, in just a couple of weeks, I found one. And it looked basically new, but the price was now $18,000, which is $32,000 less than the new price. And surely, also in the beginning, I thought maybe it's a scam. And so I wanted to see the car. I mean, I went to test it, and once I entered in the car, it smelled still new. And driving it, it was perfect. So clearly I bought the car, it was my dream. But I also thought that I was really lucky. But actually over the time, also helping friends to find cars, I discovered that buying used cars, which are in a great state and a really low price, is rather common. And I mean, with the same principle, I bought my scooter for 1.5k instead of 3.5. And so the lesson I learned from all of that is to not renounce to the expensive items or things that you want. You just have to search for them in used markets, and you will surely find something in a great state. You just have to put some effort in searching for it. And this way you actually save tons of money while having the same exact final result, which is great. Okay, let's now go with number 2, which is something that actually reduces my expense by $3,000 per year, even more. And the cool thing about that is that you can start doing that today. And even better, it also helps your health. So it has it all. Because follow me, eating out all of the time isn't that good. It doesn't allow you to have a lot of variety of food, as well as it is clearly more expensive than eating at home. And that is what we must do every day when we go to work. We all have cafeterias, which are very expensive, especially compared to what they're worth. And at least in my case, the food was very bad. And so I was spending in the past $14 per day to eat in this place that I didn't even like. And yes, it can look like a small amount of money, and also a normal thing to do because everybody does it. It's part of the job. But if you make the calculations, it's a lot of money. And as I said, for me, it was more than $3,000 per year. So when I was analyzing my expenses, I said, what can I do? And well, the answer was actually rather easy, because I started using this. A Tupperware. Thanks to this, I started bringing food from home. And it was actually difficult in the beginning, because this would mean more job to do for the day after. But actually you get used to it. Because finally, what I now do is that every evening when I cook, I just cook more. And what's left, I'll put it in the Tupperware. And this way I always have something ready for the day after, not really putting more effort into it. And doing something as simple as that, I save more than $3,000 per year, as well as I eat much better and healthier food. And so as a foodie, this is one of the best things I could have done. And so this is extremely simple and also effective. And you can really start doing this today. So just get a Tupperware, cook some more, and eat it at lunch tomorrow for work. Okay, let's go now for number 3, which is actually my absolute favorite, because it's the best way to have more money. And it is actually very simple. It takes just 1 second, because you have to subscribe to this channel to continue learning about personal finance and get financially free. Because this is actually my objective, to help you improve your finances. But yes, let's go back to the real number 3. Okay, we're in 2024 and this is something that surely impacts everyone. I mean, it extremely impacts me because I love that. And if it wasn't for the strategy I'm gonna tell you about now, I would spend thousands of dollars more every year. And that's what you should also do, because I'm talking about technology gadgets. Because let's be honest, who doesn't like all of the technology improvements that we are having? From Alexa, to an oven connected to the phone, to the recent Apple Vision Pro. We're living in a great moment for technology. And it is very easy to fall in love with all of these gadgets. I mean, every time I go to an electronics store, I fall in love with a new gadget. And I would like to buy it on the moment. But when you do that, at least when I do that, what happens most of the time is that I buy it, I use it sometimes, and then I stop using it. Or sometimes I even buy something which has much more function than what I actually need, and you never use them, so you pay for them, but they're useless, they're worthless for you. And these gadgets now cost a lot of money. Just think about the iPhone, that 10 years ago was at around $800, and now it is priced almost the double. And let's be honest, we don't all need the latest iPhone model. It is more a pleasure than anything else. And so when you're buying technology gadgets, you have to be really careful with it. And that's why I use this simple strategy, the 30-day rule, which is very simple to follow, because when you want to buy something, you just wait 30 days before buying it. And like this, during these 30 days, you will have to think about the functions that you will actually need, as well as if you actually need this gadget at all. And I can grant you that most of the times you don't need it. But if after 30 days you still think you need it, buy it. But at least in this case, you will have made a rational choice instead of an emotional choice. And this will reduce your expenses by thousands of dollars. Okay, let's go for number 4, which is books. Wait, books are a useless expense? Definitely not. They actually are one of the best sources of information that you could ever find, as well as they are also a great source of fun. And I continuously buy them, but the cost they represent is enormous. And so that's why I search for a way to spend much less money on books, because nowadays a book is around $20 in average. And so if you buy more than 30 books per year like I do, that's a huge amount of money. And so how do we reduce this expense? I've actually found a way which is very simple. Because you have to use this, a Kindle or something similar. Because the ebook versions of books are much less expensive. Imagine that they are at an average price of $4, which is 5 times less than the paper book. And sure, the Kindle is an initial investment, but in just the first year of using the Kindle, I saved much more than its actual cost. And yes, paper books give a different experience, give a different feeling. And I also prefer them. And that's why the books that I really care, that I really like, I buy them in paper, like these Atomic Habits, of which unfortunately I've lost the cover. But all of the other books that I'm not sure that I really like or that I really care, I buy them on Kindle. And this way I save hundreds of dollars every year. And you could do the same, it's very simple. Okay, so now we have the expense that for me, it's actually the greatest waste of them all. Because I'm talking about a service that is outdated. It is completely useless nowadays. There's no need for it because you can find everything online. And that is why its market is decreasing every year enormously. And what I'm talking about is... No, not a plane, but travel agencies. And I couldn't bring up travel agency here. In the past, travel agencies were an extremely useful service that actually helped millions of people. Because at the time it was very difficult to find information about the flights, about the places where you wanted to go, about the hotels, about the activities. Everything was difficult to understand and to find information about it. But today is different. Thanks to globalization and internet, you can find everything on your computer. And that's what also travel agencies do. They book the flights and your hotel and the activities on the same websites that you can find on the internet. And so they do that, and they actually charge you 50% more to do the exact same thing that you can do by yourself. Moreover, you have no choice about what you want to do. Everything is defined by them. And this is why I organize all of my trips by myself, and I travel a lot, and this makes me save thousands of dollars per year. And even if you're a traveler that wants to have everything pre-planned, everything prepared so that you don't have to think too much during holidays, you can find tons of guides and packages on the internet. And they're actually the same ones that the travel agencies will use, but a much lower price. And so in the end, doing that, you actually have a much better service because you have more flexibility, and especially you save thousands of dollars. So I am sure that you have found some ways to save money, and reducing these useless expenses is extremely important to have more money and improve your finances. But if you really want to make a step forward, you have to make a bigger change. You have to improve how you manage your finances as a total. And the best way to do it is by watching this video. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.